Hi, this is Jonathan with the Millionaire Reach. Today we're going to be talking about for personal development, goal setting, and then the second thing we'll be talking about for our tech talk is going to be usage issues. So let's dive into the personal development. All right, so we're going to be talking about goal setting. So goal setting, we have to be really clear and defined in what we're doing, right? So we have to have that clear vision of what we're trying to accomplish. So really you need a plan to start off with. You need a strategy to have that clear vision of what you want to accomplish. And that's more just like your strategy in general and be really defined on that. But you want to have a clear vision of where you're going, right? To be able to achieve all those goals you want to do, we have to have a clear vision. So we're staying energized and motivated in what we're doing in our business. The other thing we're going to talk about is just being productive. Now, are you really being busy or are you being productive? So it's easy just to keep busy and do things that you need to accomplish, but when do you need to accomplish those? How is it going to affect your business? Is it by you doing that right now, is it a high priority, a medium priority, a low priority? Like, is it going to really give you a ROI, a return on your investment right away? Is it going to, by not doing this, is it going to affect you down the line? If it's not going to affect you down the line, we really want to focus on the things that are going to make us the most production and the most money for your return in the time that you're investing. So we want to just really want to make sure we're not just busy doing things, because it's easy just to get busy doing things and just get really involved on it. We want to be clear on what we're doing, and we want to make sure we're productive at it. The other thing that we want to just touch on here is after we define that, we want to put our goal, our vision on paper, right? So we want to have that clear vision of what we want. For me, what I want is, like a lot of other people, it's not super unique, but I want to have sustainability for me and my family, financial freedom, and be able to do things with our money. So I want to be able not just to trade my time for money, but my time for value, right? So I want to produce more value. The more value I produce in helping other people, the more money I'm eventually going to get from my business. But what really defines this in Entra is SMART. The acronym for SMART is specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timely. So we really want to hone in on each one of these. So we want to be very specific and oriented in what we're going to be doing for our goals. We want to make sure it's measurable for just the tracking of it, make sure we're doing what we're going to do at the specific times that we set that time slot for that specific thing we're working on. We want to make sure it's achievable, so we're not setting goals that we can't achieve. We want to make it realistic, so we don't want to do something just crazy. You want to make sure we're super realistic in what we're setting. And then the last thing is timely. Timely, we just want to make sure we're on time with our goals and set deadlines and make sure we get things done. So that's really all I have about personal development. The other thing we're going to be talking about is our tech time segment. And today we're going to be discussing usage issues, just like in the home or at the business. So typically what you have from an internet company is you have like ADSL or DSL or fiber connection. Usually you don't see dial-up, maybe in extreme cases. If the customer is like way out in the boonies and they need internet, but there's other services that they provide. But based on just my experiences, what usually happens is a customer pays for a certain package, right? So let's say it's 20 by, let's say it's 25, because 25 is the average. So the average like data package that you would have is 25 megabits per second for a download speed, and usually like 2 for an upload speed. So the download speed, so we're sending that data, or not us, but your internet service is sending that data to the modem, and that's the circuit's usually provisioned higher just because there's distance, and there's, depending on how big the loop is, they have to just have higher rates. So by the time it gets to your modem, that you get what you expect. But really, if you're seeing usage issues, the first thing I would do is really call your internet company just to make sure there's no issues on the circuit. Usually on the circuit, it will be you have a managed switch at the cabinet. Usually at the cabinet, if you have a bonded connection, it will be two different connections that are called ports, or it will just be one. And typically with that, what you have is one connection. That line is going underneath the ground. If it's fiber, and that's going to your home, but the fiber is usually upwards down. You usually see like intermittent issues, like just with data issues on specific like ADSL or DSL connections, which is the broadband speed. Usually that ranges from, I would say, 10 megs to 60 megs, and then really after you get, well, it can go up to 100, but really after you get over that 100, then it's fiber typically is what you see. And the difference just between fiber is it's lights going through the line to get that really fast speed. And then with that fiber, it's like I said, it's usually upwards down. It's either working or not working. And there are some things that you can measure on that just in the home. When you're doing usage testing, when you want to make sure you're just direct connected, so usually you would have, it would be like plugged in on the wall to an outlet where it's provisioned. So typically like the ONT or fiber device is outside the home. Sometimes it's inside the home. If it is inside the home, you just want to direct connect from that device to like a computer. The reason why is that all that data is just going to that one device and not going to all the devices in your home. When you run a speed test, typically you'll see the data that's left on the network that you're not using, and not actually the data that's coming in. So you just want to make sure only all the other devices are off, not pulling data, and it's just connected to one device. Now, typically there's a couple of ways you can do that. You can just direct connect to the modem or fiber unit just with a computer if you have an Ethernet port. If you don't have an Ethernet port, you can get like a USB to Ethernet port, plug that in, and then you can just see what that is. The other thing you could do is you can, if you don't want to direct connect, if you don't have that ability, you can disconnect all devices off the Wi-Fi but one, and then make sure you don't have any LAN connection. So a LAN connection is just any direct connection that you have from the router to your like different computers or hardware that you have in the home, and you'll have like 4 LAN ports on the router. This way you can test to see what the data is getting onto your router, but it won't tell you what's just coming into the modem there or fiber unit. And that's usually the best test. If you are seeing software issues, what I probably would recommend is to reboot the fiber connection if you can. Sometimes you can't because it's outside, but if you can do it, then I would definitely recommend in rebooting it, and then rebooting your router to try to fix any software issues. If you're still having issues, I would recommend then probably do like a firmware update on the router to make sure it's nothing internal. But if that doesn't fix it, I'd probably do a manufacturer reset. What that does is it resets the settings to the manufacturer settings just on your router. It's basically like you picking up a new box at the like retail store for like a router or a modem, whatever you're picking up and buying, and that usually fixes a lot of issues. If it's not that, then you would want to get that swapped out. If it's within a year, usually the manufacturer has a year warranty on it. If you have additional protection, I would send it underneath that just to get a new router or modem. But yeah, that typically fixes like all kinds of usage issues that you have in the home. The other thing you can do if you just want to try to track it on your side is there's a lot of good, with the routers that you have apps for them. You can see typically in a lot of those apps what the data is to whatever devices you have, and then if you are having issues remoting in, you can just pause specific devices that don't need that data and reallocate that data just to like your work laptop or whatever device really needs that data. So typically all of that's done is you just pause the devices you don't need and then just make sure the ones that you do need are active, and all that data is just dedicated to those devices then. All right, well, I hope you guys enjoyed the tech talk. I did kind of go a little bit over. If you like the content, and if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. Like I I've said before, I really like to answer any kind of feedback you guys have and be able to answer those questions. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Bye, Entre Nation. Catch you later.